Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd play some more Reforged Eden 2 on the Anvil server here, just doing some solo effort stuff. I actually started a little while ago. I didn't start recording until now. Basically, I was just kind of tooling around the ship a little bit, dealing with some part upgrades and things that I did. I popped on a couple larger thrusters on the back of the ship now. Took the thrusters I had there and redistributed them to other parts of the ship, like lift and strafing and reverse thrust. I did put in the universal constructor that I built last time. I had some of the stuff just kind of sitting in boxes, basically. And then I took a deep dive into the power management of the ship, and I found a lot of kind of things I didn't know, and some of them are kind of alarming on the power management setup of a ship. One myth that it's not actually true that I've kind of debunked is the passenger seats have on-off buttons on them, active or not active. They don't use power. Why they have a power switch and why they have an active position is beyond me. I've checked this in all the stats and everything like that as well. It doesn't make any difference. So there's no point on turning off passenger seats. It's just a waste of time. It's kind of like the same point of turning on or turning off the oxygen, which I was doing, thinking that was going to save power. It doesn't. It doesn't make a difference. So there's no point on turning off oxygen either. So that's a couple things to know. But here's the alarming things. Now, right now, I've been building turbines and putting them in the ship. So I've been kind of focused on the medium-sized turbines, and I loaded it out with 4 of them now. So each one of these is negative 600 watts of power usage. So that's 2,400 negative watts of power usage on the ship. And the reason why I got so many now is my objective was trying to figure out how to keep my 5-watt consumption fridge staying in power when I'm not online, so I don't lose the food. And it doesn't drain all of the ship's fuel, which it did again when I got in the game today again. So I lost all my fuel from yesterday. Had to put more in it. I did have more to put in it, so that was cool. But still, I wanted to solve the issue. One other little thing, idea. I don't know if anybody actually thought about this before I did. I was kind of wondering, could you build a CV or something that moves that doesn't have an actual generator on it, and maybe it's real light on power usage, but it only is running turbines with no generator? The answer is no, it's not possible. If you turn off the generators, I have 2 generators on here. If you turn them off, they shut down, and then you're nothing. So you can't have your ship on without a generator. I don't want to do this for long, or I'll fry my food in the fridge here. But so that is something else that is kind of interesting to know. You must have a generator on ACV. Turbines will not power it up without a generator. So just something else good to know. Okay, so now the disturbing things with power management on a CV. One, I could not, considering, here, let's go in the P menu, and I'm going to turn off things. Let's turn off the turrets and weapons, the thrusters. And here, I'm going to refresh this. This should be turning off all of my constructors. I also set up it to turn off food processors. Each food processor uses 375 watts when they're on. So basically everything that can turn off besides the O2 right now is turned off in the ship that has an on-off button. But here's what I didn't know before, and this is what was just destroying the power management on the ship, and why I got so many turbines now. All kinds of other parts, such as armor lockers, your Wi-Fi devices, hangar doors, ramps, regular doors, lights, LCDs, fuel tanks, and oxygen tanks all continually use power. All of them do. Like, look at a fuel tank. Fuel tank uses 1 watt. Not that much. Let's see, what else can we look at here? I kind of wonder, do ammo boxes use power too? Yes, they do. Ammo boxes use power. Storage controllers use power. Doors. All the doors in the ship use power. Now, a lot of these things are using like 1 watt, and you're like, well, that's not like a big deal or anything like that. But, you know, when you got like hundreds of these kinds of parts on a build, you're having all this power just go floof right out the window. And it took me a long time to try to figure out what the heck was going on. But here's a biggie, a real biggie. The warp drive. The warp drive. I have an advanced warp drive in here right now. It uses 500 watts of continuous power. There's no on-off switch for it. Pentaxid tank doesn't use any power though. But a standard warp drive uses 250 watts of power all the time. So why I couldn't balance the power out on the ship is all these ship parts that are just constantly consuming power. All the medical stuff. Look at this, the medic station. No on-off button. 25 watts. 12 watts for these other, 12 or 10 watts for these other pieces. So I was going through, basically, if you take a look at what I actually have on the ship right now, which is no constructors, no food processors, I got the thrusters off, the weapons off, the shields off, and even at that, with four turbines doing negative 600 apiece, so 2,400 kilowatts, I'm only managed to get to negative 1 kilowatt with that. So basically, I got up to 2 turbines, and I couldn't balance this out. Yeah, I still could not make this ship keep the 5-watt refrigerator on without burning through fuel. And now I know why. I was like banging my head against the wall for a while. I'm like, what in the heck is on in the ship that's sucking so much power? Well, it wasn't one thing. It was like 100 little things, which was doing it. So that is just something I did not know before. I guess I wasn't paying attention to, like, every part you put on the ship uses power, pretty much. Even the armor locker, that's 3 watts for that. Repair station, I think, was more. That's 25 watts. Weapon locker, 3 watts. So just having the devices on your ship will continually use power. And the only way you can really deal with that on a CV is turbines. And I'm glad there's the turbines. So you can, you know, if you got room for these great big old clunky turbines, you can make this all work. And I'm really glad that I did put a focus on this build now too, with having so many turbine slots, because I know I'm, you know, confident, you know, I can power this thing off and everything, and I'm not going to lose my food in my fridge or burn through fuel when I'm not doing anything. But it's just, what really bothers me though is, first of all, these little parts, and these little consoles and stuff, these little deco things, these use power too. 1 watt a piece for all that stuff. So same thing with, I think I already mentioned this, but lights and LCDs. So that's why I got the info LCDs off, because it uses power. I didn't think a lot of this stuff did use power, especially was kind of shocked that doors and ramps use power all the time. Let's see, let's take a look at the ramps. So smaller ramps use 5 watts. Bigger ramps use less power. What? Okay, so these 1x1x1 ramps are using 5 watts, and this big old 3x5x3 ramp uses 1 watt. So it makes no sense whatsoever. Landing gear, by the way. Oh yeah, landing gear. Landing gear uses power. 1 watt per landing gear. So if you're having trouble like I was trying to hit a net zero when you put the ship in basically idle and try to keep some things like fridges on when you're not playing, yeah, it's all this stuff. It's like literally your ship itself just sucks power all the time, with all the parts it's got. The biggest offender of all those parts would be the warp drive, which does not have an on-off switch. So that would be a biggie there. There could be some other parts that do that as well. The parts, I have no problems with any parts that have power switches. But the fact is that most all this little stuff has no power switches. None of it does. I can't turn this off. The only thing I could do is remove it from the build. Same thing with the warp drive. I would have had power in my ship this morning when I came in, and I had to burn through a bunch more fuel for it. If I would have physically removed the warp drive from it. So it bothers me how this is working. Now, again, I'm really glad that there's turbines, and I'm glad this particular ship is set up to hold all of them, basically. So I'm kind of covered there, and right now my issues are fixed. Everything's actually fine at this point in time. I just wanted to just go over this because I didn't know it. I didn't know what was going on. I was racking my brain against this for like, I don't know, a good hour and a half floating around the ship, looking at everything, analyzing every part, doing tests, removing the part, putting it back in, looking at my power consumption, blah, 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 and finally came to the conclusion that, oh, there's a whole lot of things that use power that I had no idea they would ever use power. Personally, in my belief, I don't believe any parts should be using power unless they have a power on-off button on them. But that's just my opinion on the matter. That would be in some parts, like fuel tanks and oxygen tanks. I don't know why they're using power. Like, take a look at this. Oh, it's not going to tell me there. But yeah, anyway, I think these oxygen tanks are using like, I don't know, 5 watts of power each. So just keep that in mind. It's really good to know. But anyway, with all that behind, the ship's been upgraded in some aspects right now. Universal constructor, better thrust, more turbines. I do have a mining multi-turret on the top right now, and I do have a harvest controller switched over, or I put in a harvest controller here. Now right now I got LCDs off because they use power. So, and I got, yeah, everything else kind of shut off. Let me just make sure, reset all those buttons there. This I don't think is actually doing anything anymore because it kind of ties into that. So I'm gonna, yeah, boot this thing up again. And I want to try out the mining turret I've got on here now. So let's see. Oh, I thought okay, I didn't turn those on yet. There we go. Yeah, and the detector is automatically tied in with your weapons too, which is fine. I just, it's good to know. So I'm here right now, and I'm just trying to see what's out in orbit at this particular location. I have very limited pentaxid, so I can't go too far, and one of my priorities probably ought to be getting pentaxid. I have no idea what a claimable asteroid is, though. So, I think what I'm going to first do is try to find another place to go that's close by in the system. Just try to look for the best place where I can get pentaxid, which is a definite priority right now. So, this place looks like it supposedly has 5 of these out there in orbit. So, let's go there. That's close. Should be able to do some warp, some jumps like this now. But if I try to warp out further, I could strand myself pretty easily. It does turn. The ship is turning a little bit better now too, and it's obviously it's more thrusty. One thing I have not checked with it is its power, since I put all those more thrusters in it. But It didn't look like it had any issues there, but I'll try to fly around a little bit better over when I'm going to asteroids here to see if one of these, see if I can spike it. I can fix that easily. I've got the CPU and the parts to swap out that baby generator and put it in a larger one. Oh, hey, look at that. I love that. I got the crappy radar right now, too. That's something I definitely want to upgrade in this ship in the future, is the definitely get better radar going on in here. But here, let me... Yeah, okay, so flying around and all that stuff does... Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I'm just looking at the power and the fuel and all that, and looks like those turbines are really doing pretty good. Because, well, I'm flying right now, and I'm not using much power at all. And I should be able to stop a little bit better. And here's the... Oh, whoa, wait a second. Why don't I see the multi-turret? Why isn't the multi-turret accessible? I did turn that on. Where is that? Harvest, probably. Yeah, there it is. Drill turret. Oh, it's not on. Okay, so that does not tie into your weapons. That's fine. I'll have to remember that. Okay, so now we should have that. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you may have to get into it. I was thinking... I was confusing my bottom area for like a fixed mining drill, and it's not what I have. So, see how this works out. Yeah, it looks like it's definitely working. So I kind of placed this kind of right above where the cockpit is, or the bridge area, kind of centered with the bridge, so I kind of know where it should be located when I'm pulling up in first person. And this isn't super fast, but you know what? I think it's still better than trying to SV mine it. Am I out of range? No. Still not wonderfully fast. But, you know, there's better. There's always better, and that's the important part. So, in comments too, it was suggested that maybe I added some actual good old mining drills to this ship. Like good old laser drills to it. I'm thinking about it. It's an option. I did kind of want to get in the Plutus M3 though, which I'm pretty sure I'm lacking some parts for now. So I can give it a good test, you know. And not to mention it's a lot better, more agile platform to do this kind of mining, and it's a module, so I can park it right in the back of the ship and not even use any of the flight deck space I've got around here. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Did I get them all? Close enough, I think. Let's see if we can find some more of these things around. Here, for now though, I'm gonna go to third person. Looks like there's another something in that direction. Yeah, right up there. Let's head up this way, see if that's another pentaxid. Just soon stock up on this. In fact, you know, while I'm doing that, what I really should be doing is let's get into our constructors. I'll just do the small ones. Let's get these both on. And have you build. Oh, I would have to assign that to the harvest. There we go. And okay, I'm still not there, so let's get the other one going. And harvest. And yeah, build more. Okay, so let's just process it on the fly. Gonna need it. And I'm not so sure. Oh, did I stop my... I stopped my thrust. Whoops. Oh, that's a cobalt asteroid. Well, you know what? I'm sure I'm gonna need more of that too, so I might as well get it while it's here. Let's see, Probably, yeah, easier to line this up in first person. If I just keep the bridge kind of a little bit below where I want to start mining. Oh, my strafing thrust improved a little bit, but it still sucks. Alright, so that should be pretty good, I think. Let's get a little bit closer. Tip the nose down a little bit, and let's see how that works out. Oh, not the... Yeah, pretty good. Now you can zoom in a little bit with this too, which does help. But yeah, I still think this, versus like the 4-drill miner I'm using on the planet, I think this is maybe a little bit faster, or they're pretty close. One of the two. But I think overall this is a little bit faster. Actually, yeah, I'd definitely say it's a little bit faster. I do wish you still had like some flight control while you're mining. You know, like if I was in this mode here and I could still use the ASDW and maneuver the ship a little bit, I think that would be kind of a nice benefit. But it's not that important or anything like that. It's just an idea at least. Yeah, but this isn't so bad. So yeah, actually using the this ship here to do a little mining, you know, is pretty easy to do. You can do this with like any CV, as long as you can, you know, slop on a harvest controller somewhere in it. You can slop one of these on and start mining. The weird thing, one other noticeable thing that's a little bit annoying with it is like what this actually is a multi-tool turret. And, you know, when you place it, you can select whether it's a mining turret or a salvaging turret. But you can't switch the option once it's placed. Basically, you have to remove it and then place it as what you want again. Which I think it would be really cool if the turret would have a little option switch on the fly. Like I could switch it over to salvage mode right now. After all, it's the same turret, it's the same resources, it's the same thing, but the only way you can switch its mode is to remove it and put it back on. Again, it's not the end of the world on this one. It's just, it would be just a quality of life thing, I think. Because really, if there's only one person playing, like in what I'm doing right now, there's really no reason to have one for salvaging and one for mining. Kind of a waste of CPU and resources and things going that route. But it eliminates the annoyance, I suppose, of having to go outside and remove the thing to make that work. Try to get as much as I can from this view. The slow part is actually kind of moving the ship around here. But yeah, I'm kind of happy though. I mean, despite all this power management stuff, and it was good to know, and I'm glad I went through all that, and it kind of made me annoyed for a while, I will say, but at least I know how it works now, and I know how to get around it, basically with a lot of turbines. So that's really, I think, all you can do. But now I know that the importance of turbines on, you know, certain kinds of ships, like this kind of ship, like base style ships and stuff like that. Really important to have the turbines going on. I so wish they would fix this problem too. This is absolutely annoying. When you point down to the lower position, it totally screws up, and you can't see what the heck's going on. That's been the case since they introduced these drills. Thought it was a bug that was going to be fixed or looked at or tweaked or something, and that never happened either. But I'm honestly very used to that. Don't know what else to say. What can you do about it except complain a little bit here and there? But personally, like, you know, if this was my game and my company and or whatever, and I implemented this part as a new part in the game. The game didn't originally have CV mining drills, so they did add this in at one point in time. When it first did this, every time I look at its lower angle, that would have been unacceptable for release in that state. So that's just the way I think. I mean, that's clearly got a problem, and it's clearly noticeable. And it would have been unacceptable to release it in that state until you solve that problem. And that's kind of what's not happening. You know, again, it's one of those things. It's not the end of the world, but there's about 100 of these not the end of the world things that kind of like why my power was so screwed. Like 100 little things that were all like nagging away at the power that I never even thought about or ever considered. I figured, you know, if anything was going to nag away at your power, it should have a power switch on it, right? Well, that turns out to be wrong, but yeah, it's just one of those things. It's just stuff. Quality issues, and things like that. I mean, I just don't know what's going on with the overall development of the game. And I know they hit, well, they never had a beta. It went from alpha to full release with all the bugs still in it. And I just, to me, it's just kind of beyond me how this happens this way. I wouldn't think it should. And like, you know, the same thing with this multi-turret with the down position screwing up and doing the weird artifacting glowy thing on the screen. Man, there's no reason for that ever. And after years, it wasn't ever looked at or addressed. I'm sure it's just a setting. They could manipulate some numbers in the background and test it, and they'd probably have this fixed up in minutes. I mean, it's not a bad bug. It's a bug. It's something's off. Some numbers are off. Fix it. That's what developers are supposed to do. Sorry, I just, it's hard for me to not rant so much. I want to enjoy the game, and I'm kind of enjoying it right now. It's not like I'm hating on everything. It's just these little things, like this, right here. I'm trying to aim at the thing there. I think it's still working, but the effect's totally screwed, and I can't even see what I'm doing now. So now I gotta get out of here. I gotta reposition the ship again, so I can try to do this. And it should never be. It should never have been this way, ever. Alright, well, that's, let's see, a cobalt asteroid and 2 pentaxids now. Let's see, is there anything else close? There's this thing. A livestock farm. And I'm really not interested in the livestock farm right now. It sounds kind of interesting. I wouldn't mind checking it out. If I see another one, maybe I'll go there. But I'm more interested in getting these resources in here, and maybe if I can get more pentaxids. Yeah, you do burn through a lot of pentaxids. It's one of those things I would definitely want to keep stocked. Where are my constructors? There they are. Are you still working on it? Yes, you are. Good. Good. In fact, I'm going to turn on something else here too. How about this one? And you're going to do some cobalt. I guess I'll keep the other ones off for now. Head towards this one. See what that is. And the map here, yeah, it's either going to be one of these two, I guess. Cobalt or pentaxid. I don't really... I might be cool on cobalt for the time being. Not sure if I'll harvest it if it's another one. Oh, no, this is the rich... Oh, those guys. Yeah. This is something that would be interesting if I could do this, but I gotta check into what it takes to build the dense mining turrets and things, and the ice turrets. Sounds like you have to start with the ice turrets and actually get some ice stuff before you can do the other stuff. And there's probably actually, I didn't even think about this, there's probably bad guys over there. I think those are protected. So it doesn't actually list dense mining asteroids when you come into a system. It shows you these, but not the other ones. So that's kind of good to know as well. Oh, is that a real pentaxid asteroid right behind me that I just kind of flew right by? There's the cobalt. Yeah, there it is. I'll get this one, and this should be good for this system. I might go to another system. It's kind of cool. I don't have any assets or anything laying on the ground anywhere, so I'm kind of like free to roam and not have to worry about like heading back. Although, you know, Excalibur's space station is in the area in this system here, but not looking to go too far right now. I just want to make sure when I do want to start warping around more that I can do that and not strand myself. And yes, another good solid pentaxid asteroid here. Oh, and the server is shut down in 5 minutes? Oh. Didn't know. I didn't think it... Oh, it's probably close to 3. Oh, alright. Son of a gun. I'll probably end the video there. This will be a little bit shorter video, but I'll probably have another one instead here. And please let me know what you think about the whole power management thing. If there's something that comes to mind that I'm missing in my rant about that, please let me know. I don't want to relay bad information to people. I just wanted to relay what I experienced and found out, you know, what seems to be very, very dead on. Where all those parts that you can't turn on and off are constantly sucking power from your creation. So yeah, I'm just thinking now, like, if you built ships without doors, without hangar doors, with the minimal amount of fuel and oxygen tanks, with no med bays, with no, you don't have to even look to see if sensors are sucking power. They might take power for the sensors too. I haven't actually thought about that one until now. But I was really surprised that all that stuff used power. And again, most of it doesn't use very much, but it certainly adds up. The thing out of that whole batch that bothers me the most, though, is the warp drive, which is like the worst that I've seen so far of a device without a power button that uses a lot of power. I know teleporters use a lot of power too, but they have on-off buttons on them, so that it doesn't bother me at all because you can turn them off. Try to get this asteroid here before time runs out. Oh, I'm out of range now. Okay, and I'll try to get this done before the server kicks off. And then I'll probably continue here in a little bit after this time frame here and try to get some more stuff. My next objective is to bring in a that Plutus M3, I think. And I might need to visit some shops and stores to buy or try to buy some like upgrade kits and things I'm going to need for that miner. Or, well, really any miner that's using laser drills. It's all about the laser drills. Okay, 2 minutes. Kick in 1 minute. Alright, that's cool. Yeah. Anyway, I guess, here, let me get out of here. And, crap. Power mode. Let's turn off with stuff. I don't know if I'm going to be back on right away or in a few hours from now, but I just want to make sure I can turn off as much as I can figure out how to do. Let's toggle that. And let's take a look at our net consumption. Minus 955 watts. Think we're looking pretty good. 30 seconds. Gotta go. And you all have yourself a great time. I will talk to you later.